This week's episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Squarespace.
Halo 3 ODST.
And GoDaddy.
Hey everybody, all right, coming up on the show, we're going to talk about the invention of lying, Zombieland, Aion, and we are going to game with a buddy, the director of Trick or Treat. What? He's our buddy now.
Three rad brothers decide to be plumbers, but the pipes take them under this world to another. Donning red and green jumpers, they discover the wonders of leaping from girders and bricks, even lumber. All the coins that they plunder for the princess they love her. Don't say she's in another castle, you With movie quote stumpers and games, it's no wonder you're watching none other than The Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Totally Rad Show, episode number 133. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Totally Rad Show's weekly dose of all things rad. We go down to the local Cinematheque and watch a lot of movies. I had nothing. That was all I had. I was going to the
That was so
Cinematheque.
literal. There was
I know. We play video games and then tell you what we think. That is exactly what we do. There's no joke there. That's what we do.
The first rule of Totally Rad Show is you can't talk about Totally Rad Show.
Well, actually, no.
That's the exact opposite.
really
The first
have
rule is
viewers.
continue talking about Totally Rad Show. We got a great
Awesome background.
Jason Solemn.
Solemn, yeah.
Solemn.
So here's the connection between this background and what we're talking about today.
Okay, we were wondering when it was.
Movie
gonna
about
come.
rules?
Yeah.
Movie about rules!
Very, very cool.
And a movie that breaks
Zombieland.
rules.
What? All right, let's get into it.
This week in movies, we are talking about Zombieland and the Invention of Lying.
Yes.
Start off with Zombieland.
Let's do.
So, Zombieland comes from, I think it's a first, I don't know. But the director, Ruben Fleischer, he did commercial music videos, but he comes from reality TV. He did the series Robin Big. And the writers created the Joe Schmo Show. Remember that show, the Joe Schmo Show back in the day? So I think this may be a first time where we've seen reality TV people come make a...
Well, this movie is cinema verite, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's also the first time that I think I could probably list the entire cast in my little blippy description right now.
List it up.
So it stars Jesse Eisenberg, who our show loves. We mention often Roger Dodger and recently Adventureland.
Yeah.
He does the land movies. Specializes.
Woody Harrelson. And Emma Stone, who was in Superbad recently, and Abigail Breslin. So
She was in Superbad. Wasn't she
Emma
also
Stone.
in
She's a
House
little
Bunny?
Miss Sunshine.
she may have been in
that's-
House Bunny.
that's
I didn't
Amber
see.
Breslin.
I didn't see House Bunny, so I.
You should actually, surprisingly funny.
Anna Faris is funny sometimes.
Yeah, no, it was surprisingly very.
So, Zombieland is about those four people trying to survive in post-zombie apocalypse America. It's interesting. It has an interesting structure. The movie is structured behind Jesse Eisenberg's character's list of rules on how to survive Zombieland.
I'd say that's really loosely what the movie's structured on.
It's not structured, but
Yeah, it's like
okay,
I mean, it's
alright.
maybe that pops up maybe 15 times throughout the entire movie.
a lot of times.
Well, not if it's the structure of the movie.
But it's a comedy first, horror movie second. It's a road movie that puts Eisenberg's neurotic Jew character that survived based out of fear with Woody Harrelson's ass-kicking, nut up or shut up character who survived on brawn.
It's very much the Dead Rising take on zombie movies, where it's just fun to kill them.
Right.
Alex?
Go on, Jeff.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I think this is, there will be better movies this year. There have already been better movies this year, but I don't think I had more fun at the movies than I had watching this year. It is a absolute blast, start to finish. It has, from the moment it starts with awesome Metallica, Sanitarium, with slow motion zombie action, I knew I was in for a fun ride, and it really did not disappoint start to finish. I had a wonderful time. The performances are all great. You actually do like the character moments. You know, they're not throwaway characters. It's a little cliche some of the things you deal with, but for the most part, there is such fun to be had, such a great sense of humor, and such a unique take on this very almost played out premise. You know, the zombie apocalypse thing. We've seen so much zombie stuff lately that this is not World War Z take. You know, this is much more the fun, ridiculous side. And there is this amazing sequence in the center where they kind of take this detour and go into a really bizarre, fun place that is so joyous. You will have a blast seeing this film. I mean, it's definitely not for kids, but great fun.
Side note, that Metallica song, For Whom the Bell Tolls, is my favorite Metallica song.
Good question. The answer is, no, I'm just kidding. Yes, amazing.
Was it For Whom the Bell Tolls? I thought it was Sanitarium. I can't remember.
Well, either
No, it's
way,
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
you guys,
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
somebody's tolling for you right now. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, this movie was just balls to the wall fun from beginning to end. You know, it's fun to see movies that aren't about the starting of a zombie apocalypse. It's interesting to see the movies that are like, we're here, it's been a while, this is how people are dealing with stuff, you know what I mean? It's not about the beginning of like, I don't know what's happening, oh my gosh, is that a zombie? I don't know, bang. You know, 28 Days Later was sort of the only one that I can think of that was sort of like smack dab, you're now in the middle, it's been however many days, maybe 28. So we're specifically 28. But it is just pure fun. It's fun, it's funny, it's innovative.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Anything we could put fun in, really.
It is. And you know, I mean, I came home and I was telling Heather, I was like, God, it was great. And she was like, it's funny. And she was like, well, was it better than Shaun of the Dead? And I was like, well, it's not like that. It's not a take on zombie movies. It's a great zombie movie. That's it. It doesn't try to elevate above the genre and look at the genre like Shaun of the Dead did. But in the genre, it squarely goes, and I think you nailed it. It's you know, Left 4 Dead, the movie. I mean, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't thought about it until right now, but I think I did prefer this to Shaun of the Dead. Mainly because the last act of Shaun of the Dead loses the comedy and it gets serious, but I'm not really in it for that. And this movie just holds its. You know, it's been a while since we've had a good John Carpenter movie. This isn't quite John Carpenter because John Carpenter is too funny. It's too funny, but that's cool. You know?
I agree. Yeah.
It is hilarious. It is really awesome. Funny. It is FUN, like these guys just said. Amazing. And I love, there's something about it when you walk away from a movie that is like hypertextual like this, where it has that photosonics, like high speed photography, and the text that comes on screen throughout the whole thing. And it's movies that feel like they have a mind of their own.
It's what
like Guy Ritchie's stuff
wanted to be.
I would never have gone there, but like Guy Ritchie's stuff or Pulp Fiction has that moment, or Ferris Bueller where he's talking directly to the camera. 500 Days of Summer, Annie Hall. I leave the movie feeling like so much overjoyed in love with it more than any other kind of film. It's weird that always seems to happen to me. And it's funny because they always say, when you're in film school, they always say, never have voiceover.
Yeah.
But yet, it's those movies that do it right about a boy where they're so, I love them so much more.
I think it's your dark, heartless soul.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to The Invention of Lying. So this is co-written and directed by Ricky Gervais and Matthew Robinson.
Is he the tall guy with the glasses?
No, it's Stephen Merchant.
Wow, he didn't even finish what he was saying.
Well, he's got that like buddy who's like sort of his partner, and
So, The Invention of Lying takes place in this fable-like universe that kind of has the Groundhog Day way of logic, where there's no explanation for why this is, but in this world,
it's sort of an alternate reality. They say at the beginning, it's sort of a world like ours.
Through voiceover, yes.
Yeah.
It's dictated to us that this is a world where nobody lies. Everyone tells the truth.
In a world.
And everyone's very forthcoming about the truth.
They don't sugarcoat.
Yeah, it's not. That's a good point. It's not just truth. It's forthright. It's almost expressing your inner monologue constantly.
Yeah, exactly.
And Ricky Gervais plays a down-on-his-luck dude who...
A Ricky Gervais type.
Yeah, who discovers that he can not tell the truth and...
He invents lying,
yeah.
hence the title.
Right. Well, there's... Yes. So, Alex...
Yes, Daniel.
Oh, by the way, as opposed to Zombieland, I could not begin to name all the other people in this movie. It's filled with cameos.
He's a guy who can get...
Anyone.
Yeah.
Just picks up the phone and goes, hey, I'm directing a movie. I'm in.
For a 2-line role.
The casting just felt like everyone who he's ever enjoyed watching, he's like, oh, I really love that guy. Let's have him in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, that scene he's in is really good. Let's just have him in for this thing.
Yeah.
Alice, what do you think of Invention of...
So the interesting thing about Invention of Lying is that the premise I thought was amazing, right? It's a world where nobody lies and one guy finally figures out, hey, I could just tell you something and everybody would believe me because nobody
isn't, as they say.
Right, yeah. And so then I saw the trailer and I was like, wow, that looks bland and sort of boring, and the moments that they picked were not the best moments, in my opinion, to represent the movie, because at the end of the day, I really enjoyed the movie. I was kind of surprised at how sort of weirdly philosophical it is, you know what I mean? Like, it's a pretty deep movie for such a light-hearted comedy, you know, but in a very fun, light-hearted way, you know, I mean, and I can see why they don't touch on some of that stuff that gets a little bit, you know, sort of satirical, because it's kind of, I mean, maybe a spoiler kind of a thing, but I really, really, really liked it, and I thought that they handled his trying to explain to his friends that he can lie, like what that even means, and then also what he does and the ramifications of what he does, based on the fact that everybody instantly believes him because that's what it is.
Right.
So I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny.
I also thought it was very funny. I think this is a spectacular premise trapped in a very conventional movie. And it's interesting that you brought up Groundhog Day, because I think that and Defending Your Life, 2 movies that I really loved, that take premises, and they are essentially romantic comedies, you know, with a very conventional romantic comedy bent, like it's about the guy getting the girl.
Right,
but they both manage to explore the premise in a really broad, interesting way. They kind of find all the different avenues that this thing, the ramifications of what it would mean.
Right.
And this movie starts going down that way, and it gets really interesting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really cool and very smart. And then the third act comes along, and it completely derails, and it just becomes a romantic comedy, very conventional romantic comedy. And it's so disappointing, because like you said, that's philosophical stuff in the middle. It's fascinating, and it's so great to see such a smart guy like Ricky Gervais tackle that, and it makes you think, it makes you go, wow, what does it mean to be a society that doesn't lie? You know, just the stuff of they show, like, what a commercial would be. A television commercial.
Right.
It's like, if you can't lie, it makes you go, wow, there's so much of our society is based on half-truths or, you know, and it sucks that the movie doesn't follow that through to its logical conclusion. It goes in a much more conventional way.
I agree. The end of the movie is very conventional comedy, but
I couldn't agree more with that as well. I thought, like you guys, an incredibly awesome premise, and as the story builds, it's amazing what perspective you get on mundane life situations you always took for granted. And you're like, oh yeah, but you know, which is so great that we have this kind of story to give that to us. But I felt that it reached a crescendo midway through. It didn't reach a conclusion, but it reached an emotional crescendo, and I had no interest in anything that happened after that.
Right.
And it really was, as you said, it wasn't fully explored. It was the same joke from the beginning, happening again and again and again. It really was just one joke played out. And it's funny that you brought the trailer, because I remember feeling weird about the trailer, and I carried in through the movie.
Like when you used to climb the rope in gym class?
It's shot very normal. But it doesn't look normal in a very point, like as if that was intentional.
Right.
It felt like it's such a fable-like thing, and even Groundhog Day, there's a tone to the look of Ground, and there was just no tone there. It was very TV. So that affected it as well. It's a shame because
But it is very funny.
And it's definitely watchable. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you should take away from
Well,
it.
I think I
Not
could say
to
I was
go watch
tearing
it.
my eyes out sort of in the last half. I was just like, please just
really?
finish.
I think also in the
But the beginning,
shadow of Zombieland, it seems less good to me because I saw Zombieland after it. But it is very funny. I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Gifts.
in honor of Halloween in October,
Diabetes.
we're here with Mike Dougherty, the writer-director of Trick or Treat.
Yes.
Which is a very big deal. I remember 3 or 4 years ago was at Comic-Con where they played a trailer for this, and the crowd went ape poop. And ever since then, we've been wondering, when is this movie going to come out?
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah. Finally, it's out. It's coming the day that this episode comes out, Tuesday, October 6th.
Yeah.
Blu-ray, DVD, so you guys can see it. We just saw it.
Yes.
Freaking amazing, dude.
Right.
Well,
Seriously.
it's hilarious,
Yeah.
and it's those movies we used to watch as kids, those anthology like Creep Show,
Yeah.
Right.
and which is friggin' awesome. That nobody makes movies like that anymore. I had a blast watching it. It was great.
Watching Trick or Treat, I was like, I feel like a kid who stayed up late to watch the movie I wasn't allowed to watch.
Well, that
which
was
is
the point.
very Halloween.
Yeah, that was completely intent. Is that it was supposed to harken back to the '80s when horror movies were fun and scary and
Yeah.
creepy, but they were never too extreme.
Yeah.
You know, but like there was a great era in the '80s where you had anthology movies and TV shows. You couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting one.
Yeah.
Because you had amazing stories. You had a relaunch of The Twilight Zone, which was
Yeah.
actually pretty great. Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side. It was everywhere. And then so as soon as we hit like 89, 90, they were gone.
Yeah.
And it's been a struggle to bring him back. And this movie's been a struggle to get going because of that.
Yeah.
But it's also very 80s-ish too, because it actually reminds me a lot of Joe Dante stuff, because there's like a whimsy to
Yeah,
it
yeah.
that we don't see now.
But I think that's also Halloween. You know, the great thing
Yeah.
about the holiday is that it's both. It's creepy and it's funny. You know, and it's not really that scary.
Right.
It has scary elements, but the scary things are presented to you in a way that are fun. It's like a fun house.
And smart. It plays with the convention of Halloween, and it plays with our expectations of the sort of tropes of werewolves and vampires and all those things.
Mike wrote X2
Co-wrote.
and Superman Returns with Dan Harris and Bryan Singer, right?
Yeah, one of my peers at NYU knew Brian out here. And so when I came out to visit LA and hung out with him, he introduced me to Brian, and we hit it off because we were both big nerds. I mean, he's a huge geek, truly. Finally banged out Trick or Treat, and I let him read it, and he actually liked it. So that kind of started a lot of things, and after he read that, he kind of said, hey, do you and Dan want to work on X-Men 2? And thought about that for about half a second, and said, yeah.
So I grew up with this game called Nightmare that me and my friends would play. It uses a VHS.
I believe they're called
For our younger
VCRs.
audience members, that's what, when we used to ride around on our dinosaurs, that's what we would use to entertain ourselves.
It's like this era's 8-track.
I was just about to say,
Exactly.
It's exactly what we thought of 8-track.
We had to procure a VCR.
I think they've actually all been melted down, sort of like Terminator style. If the
when
VCR still existed, they were going to rise up, so they all been...
And so I emailed Mike D over here about the game Nightmare, and you actually knew this game.
Yeah, I played this back in grade school,
Right.
so it's been a while.
Yes. I need to thank Brandon Lee. May he rest in but this named Brandon Lee from somewhere in Pennsylvania overnighted us when I twittered out to the audience.
It was a desperate search.
So here you go. Read. Let's talk about
Nightmare is best played at night.
Oh,
Well,
strike one against that.
you know what? Maybe we should just...
It comes with a
call it.
sack. It comes with a velvet sack.
Dude, your VCR machine has a hi-fi switch, which ours may. Ensure that it is on. If your VCR is connected to a stereo system with 2 speakers,
Oh, wow.
use your stereo system for additional sound. You can insert the tape in your VCR and press play. The game begins. It is a race against time and against the game's host,
The Gatekeeper.
but once the tape reaches 60 minutes, the gatekeeper wins.
Oh, so you have to win the game before the tape ends.
Right.
Yeah.
We gotta rewind this.
I love it.
Sorry.
Be kind, rewind.
Someone apparently got bored and stopped.
Jeff,
Why don't you shuffle chance?
We have to write our worst fears on these.
Uh-oh.
Seriously?
That's gonna get weird.
My fear is inequality.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read their fears. This one says daddy's hands.
I'm here.
Okay, so how to play and win Nightmare. Each player starts the game from his or her character's gravestone and moves in a clockwise direction around the outside circle of stones. If you land on one of the black holes, you cannot play until released. The aim of the game is to collect all 6 of your keys. When you have landed on the Nightmare square, you must wait your turn and then try to roll a 6. Once you have rolled a 6, take the top Nightmare card from the pack. If it is not your greatest fear, race immediately to the VCR and press stop to win. However, if it is your fear, you are out of the game. Now, turn the lights down, turn the volume up, and press play.
I hope we put it in just like hardcore porn just starts playing.
Here we go. Starting.
All right, starting. Here we go.
Audio's up.
Prepare to poop your pants.
All right. That's really loud. Okay.
Actually, it's pretty
Dude, this is badass. Already badass.
If it was nighttime and you were 12, forget it.
is.
Oh! What do you turn that down for?
The gatekeeper!
Ooh, please don't punish me, gatekeeper.
I'd like to punish one of you now.
Oh, it's the creepiest shit I've ever heard.
The one who holds the highest number.
That's me.
Answer me!
Yes, my gatekeeper.
You will be the first to roll the dice.
Thank you, my gatekeeper. Oh, crap. Here we go. We're going, right?
Very BBC feel.
3.
Clockwise, right?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
That's
Time.
That's counterclockwise.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Black hole!
Oh, black hole! Suck it, black hole. If you are 5, take a key. Woo!
Oh shit!
Suck it.
You guys are playing a game, and Mike and I are hanging out.
1, 2.
About to roll the dice.
Who was just about to roll the die? Dan was.
No, I just moved.
Say it. Say it. Yes, gatekeeper. If you land on Baron Shams, receive free turn.
Kufu.
Don't mark with an X.
Oh.
Receive that free turn.
If you mark with an X.
You guys scream like girls.
Fuck. This game is fucked up.
Right?
So, Mike, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Aliens.
Really?
Yeah. It's an odd choice, I know, but it just is.
It's a great movie.
It's not a choice. It's interesting that the horror movie director picks the action.
Well, it's a
entry
sci-fi
in,
action horror,
right.
you know?
I always felt like the first one is a horror film and the second one
But you
is
think
an
about the
action
second one, it's a monster movie.
Yeah.
You know? Wouldn't it be funny if this kind of turns into like spin the bottle?
You will make out with the person who wrote the lowest number. You will take off your pants.
No, that's what you gotta do is we change the tape. We make our own.
That would be awesome.
mail it back to him.
Yeah,
You know what? This is Nightmare. We make Dream.
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
You're up.
Boy, I really don't see a way for us to win.
I just finished my turn.
Whose turn is next?
It's your turn.
Answer me.
Mine, Mr. Gatekeeper, sir.
Give me your real name.
Alex. Alex
I must have missed your middle name.
Jennings.
That is a stupid name, isn't it, you maggot?
That's all right. Yes.
Take a fate card.
Yes.
Oh, he's so arbitrary, the gatekeeper.
Already at.
Can I give any of you my headshot and resume?
Are you thirsty?
I feel like we're not even anywhere close to being.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Game is a third over.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope.
This game is going to take a long time.
60 minutes.
You have to roll and add up to 34. And if you go over it, you start over.
2, so that's 6.
Oh my
funny.
god. 25.
1, 2, 3,
26.
4, 5,
Shut up.
6,
counting.
7,
29.
8, 9.
Again, please?
No, it's what my card says.
I did it! You did it!
Oh!
Amazing!
Yeah! That's what my card says.
What does it say?
It says, if you have not already been given a task to help confuse the old one, start counting out loud the seconds on the screen.
Oh! Amazing.
What are you gonna, can you
Okay. So at 33:30, give this card to the fat one.
What?
With this message from me. Hungry? Then chew this over. You're banished.
You have got to be kidding
We're not
me.
gonna go by. We're just gonna go by weight. How much?
Hilarious.
Shit. I'm banished. Your turn.
This game is ridiculous. 5. It's a staring contest.
Blink, little maggot.
Nice.
I'm watching you.
Mike's gonna win.
Peekaboo. Don't blink, you little maggot.
Don't blink, Dan. Don't blink. Hey, you still don't blink? It's like Michael Caine's acting class. Don't blink. You still don't blink. You're not blinking.
Can I blink, really?
Number 6.
Yes.
Answer.
Yes, sir.
I demand you roll a 6 before you play again.
I demand you shut the hell up.
Sorry. Suck it.
Answer me. Whose turn is it next?
Mine.
Answer me.
What?
Miss a turn.
Oh!
I want to play with the young one again.
Yes, you do.
I bet you do.
Play for keeps.
Take down your pants.
For keeps. Go to the kitchen.
Tails.
Get a knife.
Receive one.
Oh, black hole. Fuck. Easy.
Roll the dice. And the one who rolls the highest receives all remaining keys.
I have to hurry!
5. Make it in there. You can't go backwards.
I'm in the black hole!
No, you
I have a card.
All right, go, Jeff. Go, Jeff.
We got 30 seconds.
5.
Come on, Alex.
I got a key. Oh no, I don't.
Beat this bastard.
I don't know what's happening. I get a key. No, I don't. Fuck.
I get the key. No, I don't. Fuck.
2 seconds.
Ah!
Okay, little maggot.
I lit it on my grave.
You have lost. This is the end of my game.
What? That's it? No. Wait, what just happened? Who won?
I think that.
The end is you're supposed to run up and press stop when you win.
Oh.
But none of us did, so he's like, you're dead, all dead, okay, game over.
I'm going home. Goodbye.
Bye.
Buy the next one.
Yes. Please send money.
Well, I have to say, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
All right, so I
you gotta read everyone's nightmares.
Yeah,
Okay.
read Nightmares Aloud.
I was the only one that was actually serious, so mine's pretty
Somebody
straightforward.
wrote
serious.
Spider.
That's mine.
Spider. Oh, you are scared of
Just one.
spiders.
Looking at a window and seeing an old person staring back at me.
That's a good one.
Stoic.
Mine is always old woman combing her hair.
I like this one. Babies.
I wrote that.
Yeah,
I'm scared
I
of
get that.
babies.
Having
Yeah,
That's what I was
all of the
thinking.
above. Being around them. No.
hands.
Eaten alive by sharks, alligators, and/or piranhas. Ooh. That's pretty good.
All right, well that,
Dude, well, Mike, thank you so much.
Yeah, that got really intense towards the end.
Yes.
I have a funny
man,
feeling
it
the
was a
game isn't
nightmare.
over.
yeah. Stop! We turn the VCRs though.
He like walks out from behind there.
Yeah.
Guys.
Do you guys have any soda?
So if we learned anything from Nightmare,
There's a reason this was discontinued and not made anymore.
Yeah. Don't be old.
Or
Don't be young.
Fat. That was the best one.
And go pick up Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yes.
Should we do a?
Yeah.
Wanna do one of these?
Should we do a little-
Sis-
What? Oh, right.
Reload.
So perhaps we should apologize if the next few episodes of the Totally Rad Show are not as professional as they normally would be. But we've been playing Aion, and I think it's safe to say that we're all pretty addicted to it. Aion, of course, is the new massively multiplayer online game from NCSoft. It's new for us. It's not really new because it was released in Korea.
A year ago?
Year ago?
It's definitely had a year of gestation in Korea.
Right. And of course, the massively multiplayer online space has been dominated worldwide by
The World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft from Blizzard. So it's understandable then if this game has a lot of similarities to that game. Substitute out the Disney-esque visual animation style of World of Warcraft and sub in an anime kind of look, and I think you have pretty much a very similar game. Look and feel-wise, interface-wise, how you play, what you do, what the classes are that you can play, very, very much similar. This game, of course, you play as devas, which are these kind of godlike creatures with wings. So at level 10, every character in the game will get wings, which then you can level up and fly around certain places you can't. You can play either as an Asmodean, which is sort of the dark side, archangel perhaps, or the Elios, which are the angelic creatures. And it is very much a standard massively multiplayer role-playing game. You level up, you do quests. There are some very specific changes that they made to the World of Warcraft formula, but for the most part, it is that formula, which means it is very, very addictive. I think they nailed that addictive quality. Dan, you have not played World of Warcraft nearly as much as the two of us.
Correct.
So
I'm
I'm
level 46.
right.
Right? Here's the thing. I've never been able to, I basically get to play World of Warcraft on a PC properly until, thankfully, I must say,
Oh, yes, you got
I
a
finally
supercomputer.
got an awesome PC. So when I was asking, I just need to say this real quick. When
Say it
I
real
was
quick.
asking people on Twitter, where do I get, whatever, what was it, doghousesystems.com.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing machine. That, right? I mean, I had to ask these guys if this is a good deal or not, but yes. It came preloaded with World of Warcraft, which saved me about 8 hours of my life. So I did hop on WoW just to see what it's like in this machine, and boy, every review I've given of a PC game previously on this show was a little bit effed up because I wasn't playing on a machine.
You're
like
watching a
this.
slideshow.
Right.
Yeah.
But thankfully now, playing Aion, gorgeous.
Well, it's in a CryEngine, right? So it's a
Yes.
much bigger, robust,
Very
graphics
heavily modified CryEngine, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's from Crytek, the guys that did Far Cry.
engine. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I always found the aesthetic of World of Warcraft just a little bit unappealing. There were never the joys of these games. A part of the joys is when you hit a world and you're like, oh wow, because you're exploring. That is the point of these games. You're exploring. The World of Warcraft world is very like Lord of the Rings type aesthetic. And this game, I just love the imagination of the look of this game. Something about it is
It's sort of Final Fantasy meets
Devil May Cry.
Devil
you would
May
say.
Cry, something
But there's
like that.
also this great lighting, this colored lighting, and it's just very pretty. And it makes me want to play. And the creatures are imaginative, not just versions of Lord of the Rings, of Tolkien-esque creatures. So that is a blast. I don't know. I mean, you guys really can contribute more to the technical side of what it's doing. I am having fun. I mean, I am definitely hitting the this is MMOs are not. I just kind of. I'm addicted.
You're in
to
the
it.
grind,
Yeah.
and you're feeling the
Yeah,
weight
I'm
of
feeling
the
the grind. Yeah, I mean, I'm addicted for sure. I really feel like MMOs are like cigarettes. Like there's something in them, like nicotine, that is addictive. The actual doing of it isn't fun, yet I feel compelled to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's the magic of video games.
I was saying to Jeff as we were playing.
Don't smoke, kids.
I don't understand why I can't play this game like I play other games that have things in it to do that are like the way I would play Left 4 Dead or this or a shooter.
The fact that you feel compelled to get on
All I'm doing is
and all of a
clicking
sudden
things.
it's 6 hours later and you're like, oh, I forgot to eat and or urinate.
But what I'm doing isn't even like, but I must do it.
Yeah. Alex.
Well, that is the magic and mystery of the MMORPG. Is I don't know what I'm doing, but I have to do it. It's really XP.
It sells itself,
It sells itself, right? Yeah. This game. So we reviewed Age of Conan
Champions, just
Online, which
recently.
was a beta, but we did review it, and it's really funny. I've yet to get really sucked in to a new MMO, and I couldn't quite figure it out because all of those games do the same thing. I mean, all of those games are the same WoW basis, sort of.
Well, I think this game even more so than those other two that you mentioned. This game is very much. It's almost there could almost be a translation of terms. Like there's a word that means the exact same word in WoW. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I will say, to me, I think that's what you have to do. I mean, it's unfortunate. I think you have to either do that or something completely different, like what Star Wars Galaxies was originally doing, which then, of course, got stomped by WoW. Where you know there's no numbering system of your character.
And it looks like what Star Trek Online might be doing.
That's what
different.
I'm excited about Star Trek Online is that it's not just the get from what's instead of 80 in World of Warcraft it's 50 in this game. It's like okay, instead of a cleric or a priest, it's a cleric.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
Okay, right.
It's the same stuff. Yeah. Star Trek looks like they're doing very much different.
Very different stuff.
Shift. We'll talk about that more later.
Yeah. So there are a lot of differences in this game to World of Warcraft that I think are really step-ups. And they might just be the things that I really like are the sort of UI things.
Yeah.
You know, you can click on a name that you're supposed to go drop something off to and hit locate.
Which is fantastic.
That in and of itself saves you hundreds of hours of what the balls am I supposed to do?
It looks like they took what a lot of the UI mods, popular UI mods in WoW, and just made it part of the game natively.
But there's even little itty bitty things like there's the sell all misc.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Unbelievable. It's like a button that goes, hey, all that BS that's gray in your inventory that you're gonna sell because it doesn't do anything, just hit this button and it'll all be sold. It's like so amazing. And I have to say, I like the branching level system where you know there are 4 classes.
Right.
Each class has 2 subsets.
Right.
Sort of like specializations.
Exactly.
To me, I really dug that because it was like you got. Although with Ranger and Assassin on the Scout tree, I kind of had an issue because you're leveling up as dual wielding daggers and then at 10 you become a ranger and it's like okay, all those skills that you were using, trash them, now you have a bow and 2 shots.
So let's be clear about that. You choose one of 4 classes, as you said, and you level to 10. And once you're at 10, your class splits off into 2 specializations. You choose one or the other, and forever are married to that decision.
Yeah. Well, we think.
Something else happened at 20, though. You said.
So
sigils come in. I'm a level 19. We're all not super deep into the game. We're all about the teens. Yes, but. Yeah. We should say that.
So there's a lot. So there's
stuff
some
we have
stuff
not
that
seen.
we haven't seen. You know, I mean, I know
plenty.
I know that with dual spec that just came out on World of Warcraft, where you can respec your talents and stuff like that. You know, because the talent specifications is sort of what the branching is. You know, you can be the DPS warrior, or you can be a tank warrior. You know what I mean? Which is like Gladiator and Templar. The fight animations are amazing, dude. The frickin' a gladiator with a pole arm killing somebody is just a joy to watch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Also, they use this chain skill thing, and have you guys had the branching chains yet?
Not yet.
Wow, that really is a total game changer for me.
And you should say you're playing a cleric, right?
I'm playing a cleric and a ranger.
Yeah.
Right. I have a level 14 ranger and a level 18 cleric, or 17, just about to be.
Which by the time this episode comes out, probably would be add 5 levels to those.
Agreed.
So we were playing. I mean, we've been playing.
We're clearly going to play more, but the chaining
We're
skills.
We're going to start a guild, maybe a legion.
A legion, yeah. So, but the chaining skills are very interesting because basically it's like a skill that you can only activate after you have activated another skill. So it's like you can do, this one shot, and then that opens the ability to do the second shot. But where it really gets interesting is the branching, where you're in certain situations and you start with one shot, and then there are 2 or 3 options of the branch next that you can choose, and each of them have a different effect. So you can figure out when to apply them in the chain, and that to me was a good way. I think it's what maybe Conan did, Conan, the game Conan did, where it just added a layer to the combat. So it wasn't so much of I do this shot, and then that shot. Now it's like I do this shot, and then all these shots open up, and which one of those should I do at this time based on the situation?
Yeah.
It really brought some up, and it's just effing fun, man.
Yeah, I agreed. I'm very much addicted to it, and I think the game's greatest strength and its greatest weakness are the same thing, and that is at least for me, how closely tied it is to WoW. Because it's great that I am immediately at home and I know exactly how to do everything, and there's no learning curve, at least for a seasoned WoW player. It is very, very much the same type of game, in the same type of way, delivered. And I'm playing a sorcerer, which is like a mage. I mean, it's the same type of thing. You can, sheep someone, or put them to sleep. The way you play the game is very familiar. But unfortunately, the way you play the game is very familiar. It almost. And granted, we were only about level 20, so maybe the later part of the game.
PvP stuff, all that stuff's gonna be.
Yeah, they talk a lot about PvPvE, which is this like concept that they introduced for Aion, where it's sort of a hybrid between PvP and PvE at the same time in later levels. And obviously, we haven't gotten there yet, so maybe that will really differentiate. But I have a few gripes, and one of them is, you make a big deal about giving my character wings, which is phenomenal, and the way that's delivered to you is really, really cool and makes you feel very powerful, which is always an awesome thing in video games. But then 90% of the areas I'm dealing with after getting those wings, I am not allowed to fly in. So why do I have the wings? And it's very, very frustrating to be running around and going, I have wings, why can't I? And there's no good explanation as to why. That is a huge annoyance. It's like, well, if you're not gonna let me fly, don't give me the wings yet.
Well, that's the thing that I think is probably going to end up. Well, but here's the thing. It might be one of those situations where they're trying to train you to get used to flying and fighting and playing, while also used to playing the game.
Yeah.
And then at later levels, you may get situations.
I think level 40, 50 or something, or 30 or 40, we're going to be like
walking.
flying the whole time.
I'm excited.
I hope so.
Like Superman.
Nobody walks in Aion. Walking in Aion. Anyway, yeah, but it's very, it is very, very addictive and very fun, and we're very much in. And we'll put up a blog post at totallyratchet.com/blog that says what our server is,
I was gonna say,
we'll make a Totally Rad Legion.
Yeah.
If people want to hop on, I think.
That's the one thing we haven't done yet is to get into a guild or a legion,
Right.
and I think that might blow the doors off this game because if you log in and you're like, hey, does anybody want to go do this? And it's like, yeah, because the elite stuff, the grouping stuff was really fun.
Yeah, 6-person groups instead of 5 in WoW. That's pretty cool. Also,
Plus, it seems like you don't need to have all 6 people.
Right.
Which is, I think, really cool because usually it's like if you don't have 5 people in a group, don't even go into an instance. But like last night, we had my chanter, which is sort of a healer, a gladiator, which isn't even really a tank, and the three mages.
Yeah, we were able to do it.
Weird group, but we were able to do a lot of stuff.
I should say too, we mentioned that this was released in Korea early, but I was around for the launch of WoW, and I read a lot of stuff when WoW launched in China, which was after here, and they had tons of problems, and I'm very impressed. I mean, there's been some stuff about long queues to log into servers, but other than that, this game is very solid.
Yep.
I haven't seen any.
And they've been adding
glitches.
servers, so they get that. Hey, if people want to play this game, let's add some servers.
The big question for me to you, Alex, is Cataclysm comes out. Does this game just shrivel on the vine?
Not for me. I've sort of been looking for something to kind of get away from WoW, just because I haven't really. The joy is gone in WoW for me, and I think. Getting to a game that's sort of more, and I hate to use the word realistic because it sure as hell isn't realistic, but more sort of adult, you know what I mean? Less sort of childish, and then it reminded me.
Big head over here.
Except for big head, bobblehead over here.
You'll see butter buns.
Butter buns.
You'll see.
But it also reminded me of how hesitant I was to start playing WoW because of how childish it was.
Hesitant man shall pass. Hesitant man shall pass.
Yeah. Yep. All right, everybody, before we get to our email, we do want to thank our sponsors, such lovely sponsors as Squarespace. If you haven't gone and checked out squarespace.com, you are missing out. They are an amazing web hosting company with the best WYSIWYG editor I have ever seen. And not only that, you thought that was good. They took off the gauntlet and went, you know what? So we have the best, well, it wasn't.
Why were they wearing gauntlets?
That's better for coding. Not only are we the best WYSIWYG editor on the internet, not only do we have the best templates and best designers in the history of the web, I just put that out there for you, asterisk, maybe not true, but we have now created, Squarespace has now created an amazing website import tool.
Say what?
If you're on WordPress, Blogger, Joomla, Drupal, all these sites, you can actually one-click import your entire site into Squarespace. Posts, comments, authors, all media, everything gets transported in. Now, there are some other importers out there, some competitors.
Some import-exporters.
There's some import-exporters.
Vandalay Industries.
It's true. Amazing. But most of them cannot handle media. They won't bring over comments. They won't bring over author information. There's a lot of really great stuff here. And we're actually using their importer service for Project Lore.
Awesome.
Project Lore.
And we built the brand new TotallyRadShow.com on it.
TotallyRadShow.com is on it. So check out Squarespace.com. And while you're over there, if you do want to sign up, use the coupon code TRS when you check out, and you save 10% off the entire lifetime of your order.
Also very proud to be sponsored by Halo 3 ODST, which is the newest version of Halo 3. You play from a completely new perspective. I've been playing a little bit of that this week, and it is friggin' awesome. They got the new firefight mode, which is wave after wave of enemy. It's awesome, like co-op, fun, ridiculously fun. We are actually going to be doing something very fun because they're sponsoring us.
Yes.
Upcoming.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. It's going to be really, really cool. But get your
tuned.
hands on Halo 3 ODST because for Xbox 360, it is it's really awesome. Oh, and
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's all I really needed to say. I should have just opened with that. I buried
Why
the
don't you
lead.
leave
I heard
with
the
Nathan
music
Fillion?
is good too. Isn't the score
Well,
really
the
good?
music in
I don't
Halo
know.
games is always
Yeah,
great.
but Nathan Fillion's in the game. Come on.
Yeah. So Xbox.com/Halo, right? ODST?
Yeah,
I
Halo.
always forget that.
I know. That's okay. That's what the bottom here is for. And Mike.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.
Also sponsoring us. GoDaddy gets your cheap domain. $1.99 domains. All the domains are very cheap. Cheap in price, not quality. Quality's up to you. Also hosting.
Quality is up to them.
No,
That's good. Keep going.
Tons of hosting options, really great customer service, lots of different, when you step through the site, there's tons of options to choose from that are given to you if you've never done it before, which is something that I've had to encounter many times when I've purchased domains and stuff like that. So privacy, public, all that crap.
Yeah.
Good crap. Help me out here, guys. So revision3.com/GoDaddy, where there's tons of options for discounts, discount codes to use.
Train was going like this, and the wheels went.
It's like
Two different. All right, moving on.
I love it. Also, be sure to check out Web Zeros. It's the new sitcom from Revision 3.
Sitcom, you say?
Sitcom, I said.
Wow.
It starts Wednesday, October 7th. Go to revision3.com/webzeros to check it out. All right, let's get to the emails, shall we? Dear TRS guys, last year, in honor of my love of Serenity and Firefly, congratulations, I got a tattoo
Serenity
of the
now!
logo from the side of Serenity. Very nice. I've always been nervous of getting a tattoo, but I finally chose to get one because Firefly is one piece of geek culture that I love above all others. So my question to you is this. If you were to get a tattoo based on some piece of geek culture, what would it be? Where would you get? And where would you put the, what? What would you get, and where would the tattoo be located?
So what is this
question.
third
And
option?
where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes. That's what I was going to get. Carmen Sandiego, my butt cheek.
That's where in the world it is?
Yeah, I'd be like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
That's where the sun
When
don't
I
shine.
give people drinks.
Ew.
Stay rad, guys. Steve from Tempe, Arizona. Or Tampa, Arizona. Tampa with an E, or Tempe. Arizona.
Interestingly, none of us have tattoos, right?
Or been to Tempe. No, I'm just kidding. Wait, what do you mean? Well, no, I don't think any of us have tattoos.
Which is kind of odd
Mike
for
probably- I don't
our
think Mike-
age group. Yeah, the four of us don't have tattoos.
Yeah, we were really ripe in the age of
Tattoo.
Dude,
getting?
every girl in the world got either an ankle dolphin or a
Yeah.
back rose.
a back rose.
I don't know.
That sounds like an exercise. How many
And all
back
the
roses
dudes,
did you do?
All the dudes in college that
Oh,
I know,
dude, the wire, or the
wire.
tribal band around their arm.
Cliché.
So let's get off the cliches and get to
although
more
those
fun
are awesome
things.
if you have one forever.
Yes. I'm sure they're amazing for you. Jeffy, what are you thinking?
Well, there's a reason that there's several reasons why I don't have a tattoo.
That weird skin disease you have.
Well, yes. One of them is that the needle's not a big fan of. But the other one, I could get over that. But I'm a little mercurial in my taste. So the answer to the question which he posed, which is what cool geek thing would you put? I'm like, right now?
Aion wings.
Awesome.
You're like, I don't think I'll ever want to get rid of these.
Awesome.
Oh, that's great. I can't beat that. I'm tempted to say, oh, it's something cool from the Shield, lamb.
yeah.
Or like,
Yeah,
you know,
shield, like a.
I'm from the Shield. Best
what's your
TV
favorite
show
show? No, but, or, you know, like, I really
I
think
love you written on the eyes.
Oh, nice.
clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. Right? I mean, I'm loving the Friday Night Lights right now, and that is like actually a very resonant
Statement.
mantra.
Yeah.
You know, clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. That's awesome. And I would love to get that. Like,
I think words are a mistake though, because no one can read
especially
them. You need something that's immediately recognizable.
kanji words. Yeah.
Kanji word?
You know.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, like
Again,
all
if
those
any
things.
of you have these things, they're sure
They're amazing.
very
They
good
probably
on
look great
you.
on you.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
just
I
like-
fantasized for a while about getting the SF logo from the 49ers one. That's not really a geeky thing, but
But when they're not doing good.
there's nothing. That's the thing. There's nothing that I would.
Hey.
There's nothing.
Yeah, I'm very similar to you in that I think ahead. I try to think ahead in my life, and I realize that as passionate as I was about so many things throughout my entire life, where I feel like there's no way I'll ever not love. You know, I know that. You know, I inundate myself with that, and then I get a little bit.
That Sandlot
Right.
tattoo was probably a bad idea.
Sandlot. Awesome. I still love the Sandlot though.
See, maybe it was a great idea.
Dan's got to eat my shorts.
Sandlot tattoo could last forever.
Nice.
Okay, but here's what I'm
Heyo.
thinking. Either if fantasy world,
Yeah.
maybe Orin from Neverending Story on the
Oh,
chest, like I'm
nice.
wearing the necklace.
You know,
Better than
let
that.
me just say real quick.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who's
cool,
super
bro.
into comic books has a superhero insignia.
Oh, I think you said that.
I mean, it's not. It's his own superhero. It's like he invented it.
So it's like, who is that?
It's
You're
pretty
like,
badass.
Me.
In a, I would never want that kind of way.
I know the feeling.
I got that beat. Quato.
Really?
Tattooed. on my
Amazing.
chest.
Amazing.
Really, Cohagen? Really?
Amazing.
I got 5 kids to feed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, yes, and yes to all of your things. I mean, I so
Alex,
go
you need a
fluctuating
Mike
in and
Tyson
out.
face tattoo.
Oh, I have one. It's just
You
my
covered
skin
up with
color.
makeup.
Yeah. I was like, I made those ones where it's like I have 1,000 tattoos. And they're just all my skin color. So I can't
Very,
tan.
very, very painful and lengthy process.
It is. It took 12 years. Yeah, no, I don't know what I would want. I mean, you know, maybe something from Star Wars, but then it maybe like a Rebel insignia could be pimp.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, but then, you know, Old Republic comes out and I become an Imperial.
Yeah, or
and it's like,
episode
oh,
one comes
I'm
out,
such
you're
an
like-
ass. Yeah, or episode 1 comes out and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a kid's movie.
I actually saw online one time this guy who got a Jar Jar Binks tattoo before the movie came out.
oh
That's
my God.
funny.
Like, this guy's gonna be the next R2.
Yeah, totally.
Amazing. So yeah, so it's kind of difficult. I think that's probably, I don't know what
But-
else I would do.
Can't stop the signal, Steven.
Don't stop the signal, Steven.
Yeah.
What? If you would like to have your email ad on the show, please feel free to send it to fans at totallyradshow.com. I almost
That's-
said the magic word of starting the other show's email.
That's also where you would send us a background like
Yes.
Jason did. We love getting those backgrounds, and if you go to totallyradshow.com and click on backgrounds, /background, is that really right?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's slash everything, dude.
Slash everything?
Oh, no,
Is
that's
it
a
background or
different-
backgrounds?
Yep.
Okay. If you go there, you will be able to download this background as well as any of the backgrounds we've used, as well as our segment backgrounds from movies and video games.
Correct.
And there's also a link and instructions how to get our logo and create your own background so you can see it on our show. We urge you to do that. It's really cool. Also, please check out totallyradshow.com/blog. We're going to start doing like what movies coming up and video games are coming up. So you
And
can.
They
So
really
we're gonna
should
do
check
some
it out
pictures.
for the Extra Life.
Yeah, why don't you do that this week?
Okay, so Extra Life
Oh man.
is putting on this thing to benefit children with cancer. Is it just cancer?
It's pediatric cancer research. It's the
cancer
Texas
research.
Children's Hospital.
Right, Texas
Yeah.
Children's Hospital. So they're having this fundraiser that we are taking part of in playing us alongside anyone else, and you can join as well. 24 hours of gaming.
Whatever.
There's a little
whatever
bit
type
of
of game.
confusion, though I've read. As much as we want you to participate with us, it's not to physically come be with us. It is, you can sign up and be on our team, and we
your
all, on the
city,
same day
yeah.
at the same time, are playing games for 24 hours.
But we are going to be, we maybe do some live stuff
We're gonna
do
from
some
it,
live
and
stuff,
we'll be posting it. But we need your support. because we're not just doing this because we want to play video games for 24 hours. We're doing
we
this
do that
because we want
anyway.
to help out. So please
Especially
check out
with
the
Aion.
blog entry to.
Yeah, I anticipate a LAN party of Aion for the first 8.5 hours, if not
Not a
all
bad
24.
I think it's going to be crazy and fun, and we're gonna do some stuff where you can check in on us and find out if Dan has passed out yet.
Yes. We're gonna try to ply this guy with as much caffeine as we can.
It's gonna be wild. He's gonna be like, guys, I can't do it. I can't go on.
So close Jinx, right?
Yes, head over to jinx.com/TRS to pick up some new TRS swag. And we have some cool stuff in the pipe as well. I think that might be it, gentlemen. Thank
think
you
it is.
so much for watching the Totally Rad Show. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Until
Twitter.
next time, Twitter.
It's all right down there,
Yeah, Twitter.
or during the credits.
Hey, everybody, coming up on the show, we're talking about the Invincible. Oh, I love it. Got what you don't.
I have to scooch over. Jeff,
She
you
watches the show.
Sit like Mike Dick over there. Who was the guy again? Rich Johnston?
John Gruden.
John Gruden.
John
Rich
Gruden.
Johnston.
Are you guys ready?
Born ready.
Yep.
Take that nod as a yes. Take that nod as a yes. Here we go.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, wow, that's cool. 2,